Hello everyone and welcome back to Minecraft Hardcore. We are on Season 3, Episode 40, and in today's episode, we get to move on to the next build project. And I'm going to be taking you guys to the build site and explaining what the build is, the lore behind it and everything. But first, since the last episode, I have kind of moved just about everything into the storage system. As you can see, I have bones and all this stuff. Not everything is transferred in, but quite a bit of stuff, you know, as I open like 7 chests that have nothing in them. What I have done is I took all of the Sacred Isle project shulker boxes that were lying over in the island and put them into the shulker box unloader. So now we have all of these empty shulkers to use. And also you're going to see I moved all the stone from the island into this storage system. And I didn't even have enough to fit it all in this storage system, which I'll get into here soon. But I moved all the andesite, diorite, granite, the sand, everything pretty much from this project that was just kind of laying around. Including the quartz and stuff, honey and slime from the honey block sweeper, though that is wrong. And some things I haven't put in yet, but I have signs instead just because I haven't got the items for them yet. And then these are all the items that don't have any place in the storage system, which I'm going to need to probably get a spot for some of them, like spruce logs, but I haven't known what else to put in this storage system, so I figured I would unload all the shulker boxes and everything so I could get an idea as to what I might have lots of in the future. And somewhere I got a bunch of iron ore. I don't remember having this. Where did I get this much iron? I don't even know. But yeah, I guess the first thing we want to do is actually head on over. I'll grab some shulker boxes. I don't even know where to begin. I haven't started a new project in so long. Like, what do I do? I suppose one of the first things I'll do is I'll take you guys to the island over here where it looks quite different, as you can see. It's a lot. It's cleaned up now. We don't have the shulker box monster. We don't have the chest stuff. This is the extra stone that I couldn't fit into the storage system. And then these are just random items that were laying around in the chests that I was too lazy to clean up. Some of the stuff does go into the sorting system, but I just haven't put them in yet. But I mean, really, I don't need this bed here anymore. I'm actually going to move this crafting table and this bed to the next build project. I'll leave this, I'll leave this here, though. This portal, just because. But we also need to find out what we're going to do with Gerald and Harold. I suppose I could just let them have this island now that I'm not here anymore. But I suppose it's time to go to the build site. I can't believe I'm finally getting to show you guys the next project. I've had this planned for just as long as the Sacred Isle. So, well, not just as long, but I've had this build project planned since before Hardcore Season 3, so almost over 6 months, so I'm so hyped to finally get to this. But the portal for this build site is right over here. It's northeast of the Sacred Isle, so let's jump into the portal and you guys are going to be able to see where it is. Yup, we're doing a build project here. This is the first ocean monument I ever found way back in episode 1 of Hardcore Season 3. And I said in that episode, the reason I came into this biome was because I wanted to find a monument like this. Because not only did I want to do this build idea I have, but I've always just wanted to do something with. I said this in episode 1. I said I've always wanted to do a build project with an ocean monument that's underneath a frozen ocean. And it's time to finally start that project. So I'll get into what exactly we're going to be doing here in a second. I just kind of want to set up camp, which I'm probably going to do something similar to what I did at Spawn Chunks. I'm probably just going to set up a little platform in the sky for me to kind of base on while I'm building this. So I want to do that, but I want to get some stone as well, just so that I can have a nice building block. Okay, well, we have a little something set up here, very similar to what we have in Spawn Chunks when we were building, we were blowing it up, but it's a little bit bigger. So, it's time to tell you guys what I have planned for this place. Now, this was one of the projects I was going to do in the project vote. However, I changed my mind from doing the vote. I said it was because I don't think I have enough people to do the vote, which I still kind of think is true, but like, it really is kind of just an excuse, because I really want to get to working on this project. I just realized I wanted to do this project way more than the other one, so yeah, I just kind of chose mainly because of that. But, so, what exactly do we have planned for this place? Now, one of the reasons I was kind of reluctant to do this one first was because it's similar to the Sacred Isle in the way that we're going to be building a custom island. So basically, the plan is we're going to make this monument into a guardian farm, because I am going to want a lot of prismarine for a specific future project that is way, way down the line, like probably at least a year down the line. Yes, I've planned out that far ahead. But so basically, I want a guardian farm, but I want to hide it. So we're going to be hiding it under a custom island, and it's kind of hard to explain what it's going to be, but I'm going to basically make a big island. Just bear with me here. I'm gonna make a replica of an ocean monument on that island. In the center of the island, there's gonna be an exact copy of an ocean monument that I'm going to build above ground on this custom island. Now, the thing is, it's very cold here, it's very icy. So I'm going to be making this island all frosted over, and it's going to be like frozen and stuff. But the island itself is going to be the coolest part about this build. Basically, I do want this island to be kind of circular, right? So let's say this is the monument in the center here. And then this front area is like the flat part that if you were to park a ship here, you could just walk up to the monument. So, mirrored on both sides, we're going to have a small mountain here, then like a bigger one here, and the mountains are just going to keep getting bigger all the way around until the back, where there's going to be one super tall custom mountain. Remember, there's nothing here, so this whole island, the mountains, everything is going to have to be built from scratch. So it's basically just going to be, the island is going to be a big circle of mountains, and then in the center of it's going to be like a snowy valley with a monument in the middle that's frozen over. So that's kind of the plan I have for this place, but there's one more thing we have to get into. How does this fit into the world's lore? I haven't said much about this in a very long time, but there's actually a whole big story behind my world in the builds that I make. I think the first time I discussed it was in episode 14, I think. Basically, the whole concept of this world's lore, it's the made-up story that I made for these builds and stuff in this whole world. There was once, like, an ancient group of people, like an ancient kingdom, right, that lived in the world, and they had a big mining quarry thing, basically, which is spawn chunks, and they eventually became so advanced to where they were able to break through the bedrock, which is something I still want to do. I want to cover the bedrock in black concrete at spawn chunks to make it look like it's just void. But so basically, from the void came a bunch of monsters, elemental dragons, right? And these dragons ruined the world. They completely destroyed it. It was like the apocalypse, right? And the Sacred Isle was kind of like the sacred grounds where the monsters and the dragons could not penetrate through. It was like it was the story for the Sacred Isle is basically, it was a place where the ancient race of people worshipped their gods, and when everything went to hell, the gods kind of dug the massive moat and made the castle is a safe haven and a headquarters for them and the people that survived the apocalypse. But the cool part about this build is this is the home of one of those elemental dragons. You see, after the ice dragon helped in destroying the world, it came and made its home here at the island. So we're going to build a massive ice dragon circling around the back mountain here, the tallest one, and it'll be circling above, and then it'll come out like this, almost like a gargoyle over the monument looking down on the valley below. And so the whole idea is that the dragon came here after it destroyed everything with the other dragons and carved this area into its home by freezing the ocean over all around it, including the island itself. So, that is the build idea. That is how it fits into the lore, and that is what we're going to be spending the next month or two building. So, I am extremely hyped to get started. Mainly, that's kind of part of the reason I didn't finish moving into the Sacred Isle first, because I want to get to work on this. So yeah, I hope you guys like the idea. I'm really bad at explaining things, so I'm sorry if that didn't make sense, but we're basically going to be making an island that's a big circle of custom mountains, right? So I think the first step we want to do here is we want to remove all of the surrounding glaciers. I don't know exactly how far out I want to mine them, so I think I'll just start mining and, hope it's enough room. Oh yeah, also, in terms of the name of this place, I have no clue. I don't know what I want to name this place. My first idea was something like the Frost Monument or the Frozen Monument, but I mean, I think it's really clear why I don't want to go with that, because they're both horrible names. Well, I've mined down a majority of the icebergs in the area. However, I haven't mined them down past sea level because of the fact that I don't feel safe in these waters because of the Guardian. So I think I'm gonna actually wall off the monument so that no Guardians can just swim freely out of the monument's perimeter. Because I don't feel a lot safer mining down some of these outer ones. In terms of what other glaciers we're going to be mining, I think that big one to the right of me is going to have to be mined down, and the one right beneath my hotbar, right above it now, I think that one's going to have to be mined out as well, but I'm not sure exactly. Well, the walls are now in place, meaning I should be safe to swim around the water as long as it's not inside the walls, because all the Guardians will be spawning in here, and they can't actually spawn outside the perimeter of the monument. Okay, they do see me. They do see me. Now, I don't think I'm actually going to mine down all of these glaciers yet, because I am not sure exactly if I'm going to have to mine down all of them. Like, these two that are close to the walls, they're going to be covered up by the island. So I don't think it's really necessary to cover up most of those. Ones like these that are farther away, I might have to, and I'm probably going to have to mine down this entire glacier as well. But I want to quickly map out where exactly, just about how the island is going to actually go. Now, one issue is that because this build is centered with an ocean monument, I have a 2-block center, which, for those of you guys who don't know much about 2-block centers, they're the worst, basically. You never want 2-block centers. You always want 1-block centers. Well, not always, but most of the time, you want to have a 1-block center because they're just better to work with. Okay, so this is getting a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Obviously this center square is the center monument, and basically I want a big circular clearing with the mountains around it, so the circular clearing is like a valley with the monument in the middle. However, this is starting to look very big, combined with the mountains. This is going to become a bigger project than I thought it would very, very quickly. This is 30 blocks out from the monument, and I want a good amount of space in the valley apart from the monument. So, I mean, the bigger the better, honestly, but I was thinking this project could take a month or two, and it probably still can, but I'll be honest, it's looking a lot bigger than I thought it would. I think the best way to do this is to just make a circle. So these currently go out 40 from the monument. I just extended it another 10 blocks, and obviously because it's a circle, there's not going to be as much room from the corner of like the mountain, like the corner of the monument to the circle edge, you know? And so I'm thinking that this, since obviously it's going to be, the island's going to be up, I kind of want the monument to, if I get down to level with it, to like even ground, I want from the end of that island, I want it to be at sea level. Cause I think I said this, because I want it to be like the part where if you used a boat, it'd be how you access the island. And then it will curve up, go between like the two mountains that are going to be the edge. Like there's going to be two small mountains that act as like a gateway. And then it'll just slowly slope up towards the monument. So I believe a monument is 60 by 60 blocks. Well, no, it's 58 by 58. But because of this wall, it's 60 by 60. And then another 40. So it's, 130 by 130? So I'm going to try a circle of 130 and see how much room that gives me on the corners. So one bit of the circle is put in place, and honestly, I think that's actually a good size. That leaves plenty of space, I think, especially in the corners. In fact, if anything, I think this circle is too big, but I'm not going to change it. The bigger the better, as I said. So we're going to be keeping this, and so I'm thinking we'll have maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and then mirrored on the other side 8, so 9 mountains, because there's only going to be 1 in the back. So this is going to be a lot of work, obviously, but of course the ones near the front are going to be smaller, so this one will be like that, this one will be like that one will be, obviously not, that's not to scale, but they're basically, the ones in the front here will not be very big, and as it goes around the circle, each mountain will get taller. The circle's in place now, and as you can see, it cuts through the glacier over there. I knew I was going to have to mine down that one and this one, but I kind of want to lay out the rest of, I kind of want to lay out the rough way the mountains are going to go in this episode. So I'm going to quickly mine down these icebergs, or at least most of them. Maybe not the entire glaciers, just because I'm lazy and I don't want to do it yet, but at least to the point where we can see the clear full circle. I mined down the entirety of that glacier, though I didn't do the entirety of this glacier, even though there's not much left. I could easily knock that out in 10 minutes or less, but I'm lazy, so I'm not going to be doing that yet. But while I was mining those down, I was thinking more about not only what else I can build here, but what the name is. And I've come up with what I think is a better name. So unless you guys suggest anything better in the comments, we are going to be sticking with the name the Arctic Islands. And notice the plural, the Arctic Islands. It's not singular, because I was thinking, well, what if I made more mountains around the ocean? Like, what if over there was another mountain coming up, or that island is turned into a snowy mountain, or that one over there? And I've been thinking, the Arctic Island singular doesn't sound as cool as islands plural, so I think I'm going to be making smaller islands in like more mountains out in the sea, and then also like smaller spikes coming out here and there from the ocean. I feel like it would be cool if we added those, so that might be an extension to the project. But real quickly before I end the episode, because it probably has been getting a little long, I want to I kind of want to start outlining where the mountains are going to go. And while the mountains are going to be in the same general area on both sides, like they're going to be in the same area and there's going to be the same amount on either side, they're not going to be completely symmetrical in how they're built. So the one on the right might be taller than the one on the left, but it will be very minuscule of a difference if it's like that. I've marked out the general area now for where the mountains are going to go, at least most of them. They do kind of look a little strange, but you got to remember that these are just kind of the general outline of the bottom of the mountains, so it won't look as weird once the mountains are in place. I kind of started on the outline of the biggest mountain. I'm probably going to have to extend it, make it bigger maybe, and then I'm going to also have to mine down those glaciers. And then at some point, maybe between episodes or something, I'll mirror it onto the other side. So I don't know if I want to make it exactly, like I don't know if I want to make it symmetrical. I don't think I'm going to make it symmetrical because the mountains aren't going to be symmetrical. Like, it would look really cool if the mountains on either side were symmetrical, I think. But that doesn't really make sense for what's supposed to be a somewhat naturally generated island, like in terms of the world's story, and everything. So I'm not, plus that would be a lot of work having to copy the placement of every single block of stone, but they're going to be the same general shape and size. So next episode, we can actually get started on the building process. We're going to be mining down that monument and replicating it up to the spot I want it to be at. So that's going to be exciting that we're going to be able to actually start on it. But I think it's time to end this episode. So thank you all for watching this episode of Minecraft Hardcore. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like to let me know, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from the series and content similar to this. See you guys next time. I missed the zoom in button.